Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News. So much drama to dive in today from many different angles. We're going to get into game changes, all sorts of stuff going on, but also roster changes going down on the tier 2 side. DSG have confirmed which player is going to depart in addition to their roster change they made the other day, with Ye surprisingly coming in. They're making another move, but who is this additional player going to be? Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. First of all, some results on the European side. Redgar and Liquid got destroyed by Fnatic. Fnatic, in fairness, do this to absolutely everyone, but this series was not particularly close. Nice to see Redgar and Chronicle back together again, but I mean, look, as expected, Fnatic just wiped the floor with them. Honestly, Liquid have been very underwhelming to me so far this season, given how good their team should be. When it was formed, we were putting them up there with Fnatic in terms of the potential of this roster. Safe, Redgar, Soulcast, Yampi, and Nats. Like, that should be a great team. Nats on an individual level hasn't been quite so impressive lately as he was at his prime, let's just say. I still think there's a player in him there for sure, and look, there's many talented players on this team that got blown out of the water. We know that team environment and team success determines a lot in terms of how good the team is going to be overall and how good the players are going to look individually compared to when they're on a great team and they're, let's say, the star player of said team. It's not quite the same lately. Chronicle, though, just absolutely was on fire. Durka was top fragging as expected. Lotus was 13-6. Haven was 13-6. Fnatic do this to absolutely everyone, no matter how good they might potentially be. And that leaves Fnatic now 4-0 right to the top of the European side. So, you know, they're looking incredibly good to win another event, let's just say, as they did, of course, back there in Sao Paulo, Brazil for the kickoff. Also wanted to mention some drama on the game changer side. I did briefly share this video yesterday of this ridiculous clutch actually from Emily here with Moist Moguls up against EG. This was game 3. She clutches a ridiculous 1 versus 4, uses the Omen ult to get to the other side of the map, gets 3 kills, gets the job done, and they ended up winning this overtime as well. Moist Moguls, though, they did go out of the tournament last night in, I believe, 4th place to xNed, but the drama was happening in the upper final and also the lower final. So version 1, coached of course by thieves, who is a former member of their male roster, right, who's now coaching their game changers roster. Their team has been ridiculous, right? They've got all the talent, and I mean, they've been absolutely frying. SR were one of their top competitors, but last night they played in the series, it wasn't close at all. Version 1 wiped the floor with them to move through to the grand finals. Then, though, SR would have to play xNed in the losers finals to kind of make up for that defeat. Now, Kyle does here the classic Fort Minor kind of meme, which you guys have probably seen for many years in the Counter-Strike side, where you know, the highlights come through and the highlights aren't particularly long because Sonda went 1 in 15 on this map. So it wasn't exactly pretty, and you know, it's kind of impossible not to laugh when these things come along. 1 in 15 on the Neon, not particularly good, of course. So Panday then from xNed says, you know, laughs about this in the replies, and as soon as this happens, you then thought, all right, well, this is pretty interesting because Panday will go on to play the SR guys and Sonda on the very next match they play, and that's exactly what happened here. And this matchup was very competitive. Game 1 on Pearl was 17-15 for SR in the end, a ridiculous game. Bunny B drops 33, Flowerful drops 30 here, and Sonda does bottom frag on this one, but the next mob on Fracture, Sonda goes off 23 and 12 on the Neon to get some revenge from what she was doing previously and takes down Panday and Co on exit. So obviously there's pretty funny stuff, and then Sonda drops the sad face because obviously Panday was shortly before laughing at Sonda's 1 in 15, and then obviously, you know, had a bit of revenge moment right here. So pretty funny stuff, and they play version 1 today in the grand finals, and you know, probably version 1 are going to take the victory there. It would be surprising if they didn't, but nonetheless, game changers drama honestly might be better at times than challengers drama, to be honest. There's been a lot of spicy stuff happening in game changers lately, so long may it continue. Let's talk though about the George Geddes drama from yesterday that's been emerging over the last 12 or so hours. There's been lots of discussion on this. George Geddes, if you aren't familiar, big Valorant reporter, leaker, you know, been around for quite some time, the top guy really in that sense in the Valorant community. Now, Crystal Scarlet, I believe her real name is, a collegiate Valorant player, comes out with a 41-page document yesterday. Here are my experiences with George Geddes. Please take some time to read through this. So it's a long thing, and I know there's been some discussion, even I saw in the replies for some time, about George Geddes' interactions with women online, let's just say, and even Parashade tweets out here in November, why am I hearing so much about George Geddes creeping on girls in their DMs even after they say no? So you know, this apparently has been for some time. There were screenshots that existed even ages ago, but these have continued over the last few months as well. So this is the the statement in question. Hi everyone, Scarlet here. She talks about George being in her Twitter and Snapchat DMs as a form of abusing his power over the past few weeks. She'll provide screenshots further on. Obviously, George Geddes is one of the most well-known reporters in the scene. So this is, if you guys want to read this whole thing, it's obviously publicly available. Feel free to do so. I'm not going to go through everything because obviously it's very long indeed. I will just scroll down briefly to a moment in the Snapchat section here where she does mention, for the only time she talks about the words harassment. I know there's been some discussion as given that effectively what this is a series of creepy DMs over the course of however long, and you know, it doesn't necessarily, you know, she doesn't use the term sexual harassment. Okay, some of the comments that he was making were probably of a sexual nature, depends on your perspective on that, but you know, she does then go on to leak all the DMs, right? I mean, like, it's actually kind of insane how many screenshots there are in this, and maybe for good reason, right? There's a lot of stuff in here, of course. I'll just briefly scroll through all of them. Feel free to check them out in your own time if you would like to. And then it gets onto the Snapchat part where there's also screenshots like this as well. And then she ends up with this closing statement where she says the following: "This has been a pretty vulnerable time for me. Don't send mass hate to him in any way. This isn't the purpose of this document. All I want to do is shed light on this type of behavior, an unfortunate series of events." That's what we know from this particular account and story. And then though, where things kind of took the next level in terms of the escalation, was that many other women from around the Valorant scene came out and said that it happened to them too. Literally happened to me too. Massive respect for coming out of this. Happened to me as well. Number of girls I know who he's shown similar behavior to is now in the double digits. He tried it with me too and I'd only just turned 18. Proud of you coming out about this. He's so weird, it happened to me as well. And these were very consistent trends. There's a lot of evidence here to say that George has probably been creeping and been a bit weird in girls' DMs for a long time now. Many girls over a long period of time. Fundamentally, I know people are saying like he's just got zero riz, right? Like the guys in the DMs just try to riz them up and it's not really working so well, and now he's getting outed on Twitter for it. Frankly, I've seen attempted cancellations on Twitter for things far more severe than this over the last even few months, to be honest. And George Geddes himself hasn't responded to any of this stuff, so it's a very controversial one, right? Because some people are saying like this is entirely unacceptable behavior and the cancellation is entirely justified and he's got to go. And others are saying, well, you know, he's just, you know, being a bit creepy, trying to riz people up, and obviously it's not gone particularly well, but what he's done isn't entirely too harmful, right? The question was raised, I know that Lib also went on to say the following, that he tried it with some underage girls as well, which obviously gets into an entirely different conversation. However, there's no screenshots or proof of this, and it did seem in his original, in Scarlett's original thing, where she was suggesting that he was trying to ensure that she was 18, so I'm not sure that I want to discuss any of this part in more detail unless there's more evidence. So tweet your thoughts in the comments below. I know that many have been preying on George's downfall for some time. Even Wardell here says, man's trying to cancel me, ends up getting cancelled. How ironic, he says. So it's an interesting one. Many different opinions on this throughout the community, but I wanted to share kind of what we know so far and what the various opinions have been and, well, reactions from around the community. Also, though, before we finish, wanted to discuss the situation with the roster changes going on right now in the Tier 2 side especially. We saw rumours the other day that Tig and Mummy are going to join FaZe. FaZe have struggled immensely as of late. Dicey and Rossi are going to be gone. Tig and Mummy are in. I like the Tig move. Mummy I'm never, you know, been a massive fan of, but still, I think he was on Envy back in the day. Hopefully that works out for FaZe. But of course, Tig and Mummy going from the Turtle Troop team onto the FaZe roster. Dicey and Rossi gone. Rossi, I believe, is going to find a new home. Dicey not sure as of yet, because Rossi is going to go the other way to Turtle Troop, with Dazzle joining as well, because he was recently gone from Shopify Rebellion. We saw Vanity come into that roster, of course. So yeah, Turtle Troop are going to pick up the pieces here. I guess, you know, Turtle Troop fundamentally, they're not a signed roster. There's no salaries coming to those guys, so it makes sense for Tig and Mummy to go to FaZe, given that they will be on some sort of contract over there. But it will be exciting to see how certainly Dazzle and Turtle Troop get on against SR, because they will play during this upcoming split. Turtle Troop and SO in the same group, so that's exciting stuff. Hopefully it worked for the best for both teams. We need FaZe to improve, because like esports are generally more interesting when FaZe are good, and in Valorant they just haven't been particularly competitive for some time. Their group also is very competitive. The Guard, G2, FaZe, Moist Moguls, Madden or esports, so see how that goes for them. The other big discussion though has been on Disguise. They said farewell yesterday to Dephh from DSG. There were questions who was going to go. We saw the rumours the other day from Toast himself that they were going to make a further change. We know that initially Exalt was out, Riku was in, now Riku is out, and Ye is into the team, but they are going to be looking for and have now confirmed one more change. Dephh is gone. Incredible player, great teammate, no doubt still continue to make waves in the Valorant scene, but he's out of there. There were some questions who was going to stay, who was going to go, but indeed it does seem that Clear is staying there. Steel, of course, Gangster. Was some thoughts, should Gangster go? Should Zyppan go? Like, because they were going to make one more move, which they probably needed, to be honest, to take it to the next level. Which player, though, are they going to get into a place here? We know that the role issues that Ye's been apparently part of over the last, couple of months, let's just say. So there's going to be a replacement. We don't know who yet. There have not really been too many rumors here. I'll just make sure you guys can actually fully see the entire team on screen. Even though we did see just a couple of days ago now that Stewie2K mentions that he was trialing with Ye for DSG at a time. And I think he apparently did quite well during those trials. As he said, I feel like I did pretty well. I was then messaging Ye. So, I don't know if this is going to happen or whether it's just another step for DSG to go full clout mode, even though it could actually help their team as well, especially if their trials they did with Stewie actually went pretty well, or they've got something else planted up their sleeve. But just want to keep your eyes alright, because Stewie was at least in conversation with DSG a little bit ago with Ye. Now Ye's joined, and now they need a new player, and obviously the roles are pretty variable, so we'll see. That could potentially be a thing that happens relatively soon. But very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.